Hello, you're watching Kel67 Gaming, and we are continuing our search for
The
the.
best game of the decade of the 2010s.
We are. And which year are we up to?
We're now up to 2015.
So we'll have a look at what games came out in 2015, pick some for you to vote on. There'll be a vote on the end card. Please do vote.
And also vote on the other videos that we've done if you haven't already.
Yeah, we've already obviously done a few of these, so if you haven't voted already, please do that. But let's get to it. So we're about halfway through the decade, and I think this year was a bit more open for something a bit new.
Yeah, I'd agree with you there.
And I think the first game kind of proves and disproves that at the same time. Because the first game I think we should talk about is The Witcher 3. Now, the reason that it proves and disproves it is obviously it's the third Witcher game, but this one just went massive. Witcher 1 and 2 didn't. I'll be honest with you, I knew next to nothing about them prior to Witcher 3 coming out.
I still don't know much about The Witcher.
And I suspect that it is because this was the first of these massive games, AAA titles that came out next gen.
And it is on Game Pass.
Well, it is now, but it wasn't at the time.
No, but it would be a great time to get into it.
Well,
now.
anyone who wants to jump into it. The game, I'll be honest with you, I didn't play a massive amount of. I don't think you've played it at all.
No.
But it seems to me to be quite reminiscent of other games in the genre. This is like a big kind of open world RPG thing. Game's set in a medieval fantasy, so it's kind of like, I think it took a lot of cues from what Skyrim had done before it. Like I say, because it was the first that done it next gen, it just blew up huge. A lot of people really fondly remember the story and the character development, and really love this game.
Well,
Personally, I didn't play massive amount of it, so
and obviously I
I
haven't
don't
played
fall
any
into
of
that
it.
category at all. But I know that people did.
Which
So-
is perfectly fine, and I believe I should at least give it a try.
You probably should. Like you say, it's on Game Pass now, so you can do that at your leisure.
Yeah.
So that definitely needed to be mentioned. The second one definitely was new, but then wasn't. Bloodborne.
Now this is another one of them From Software games, isn't it?
I mean, it's new IP. It was I think it was PS exclusive, wasn't it?
Yes, this was a PS4 exclusive. Maybe it was on PS3, I can't remember. But
So again, a new IP, but let's be fair, it's Dark Souls, isn't it?
yeah, it's like Dark Souls, but it's got guns instead of shields
Well,
to
yeah.
parry with, and it's I think it's got 3 different endings to it, whereas like Dark Souls has the standard ending, so it does have a little bit there, but yeah, it's basically Dark Souls, and Dark Souls is obviously hard as anything, so is Bloodborne, but
Again, a game that came out to massive hype.
and
At the time, I don't think that it gets
as much credit.
well, not even that. I just don't think it gets mentioned as much as you would expect for how big the game was at the time. But I guess when it comes to PS exclusives, coming further on, I mean they just kept getting them one after another,
And each being better than
I suppose you can't
one
really.
before.
Well, that's subjective, but I guess that you can't really remember them all and mention them all at every given opportunity.
But it did come out in 2015, and it is one to think
And it was a
about.
good game. It made use of the new hardware.
I played it, and I didn't play a lot because I can't play them. It's just that hard that I can't really. But definitely one to think about.
One that definitely wasn't in any way, shape or form a new game was Fallout 4. Now this was the first next gen Fallout,
Yes, it was
and
indeed.
was massive. You have to remember this was a time before the Fallout franchise had been killed by the mess that is Fallout 76.
Yes.
This is when Fallout was still a big thing.
Shall we just not talk about Fallout 76
No,
and
we
its
shouldn't.
£100
We
subscription?
shouldn't. Fallout 4 though, you did play quite a bit.
I played quite a bit, and I love, I just love it. It's like, I don't believe I played the other Fallouts, but I did definitely play the fourth one. Obviously, being one of those open world post-apocalyptic nuked out places where you're just going around shooting like these.
It's got
Like-
very, very fashionable for a while. Post-apocalyptic open world games.
Yes, it did
The
indeed.
Fallout was, I think, the first. Probably.
Potentially, but it is a brilliant shooter. Obviously, you do get power, but you do need to keep on supplying it with energy so you can stay in it. And obviously, being with all the different monsters and that, it just continues for a great experience.
Well, you'll know better than me because, again, because there's a lot of shooting in it. It's not a game that I played a lot of, but a game that was very, very fondly regarded for a long time. Now, what else did we get this year?
Now,
Nintendo.
yes, Nintendo did come out
Nintendo
with
really
another one.
did support the Wii U.
It did it. And
I know that a lot of people think the Wii U was a complete failure. The Wii U was a brilliant machine.
we still have one, and we still play
Absolutely
it
brilliant machine.
occasionally.
And the first party titles that Nintendo were bringing out were great. Of course, you got all the ones that you expected. You got your
Your
Mario
Marios,
games and your
Legend of
Mario
Zeldas.
Karts. You got Zelda. I don't think we got a new one though, which was disappointing because you got Twilight Princess, which was on the Wii, and
No, you did. You got Breath of the Wild eventually.
well, eventually, but that was right. That
I
was
know
more for
what
the
you mean.
Switch.
And-
But
but you did have the games on there.
but what Nintendo did give us, which just smashed it out the park.
Was a shooter.
Well, yeah, it's a shooter. Splatoon.
Yes,
New IP, which you played quite a bit of.
I did indeed. Now, there was a campaign to this, I believe. I didn't play it.
No, this was a multiplayer game. This
You
was
played it mainly for the multiplayer, and I believe there was a little campaign in there, but it was mainly known for the multiplayer suite and everything. And it's a brilliant shooter, really. Like, I think.
well, you say it's a shooter, and I guess it is a shooter, but it's not about getting kills. It's about painting as much of the map as you can, isn't it? It's,
Depending on the mode you play, yes, it's like, and obviously the best if you are going for one where you have to paint as much as you can as the paint roller, as probably if you've played it you would know, but yeah, it's just one of those like where if you paint the bit you can resupply your ink, where you turn into a squid in your own ink, but you get damaged by the other team's ink. It was weird, but it made sense the more you played it, and obviously with the second one on Switch, it did obviously make quite a good success.
yeah, I think with the bigger user base on the Switch, the second one certainly done better, but the first was the one that
Kicked it in the high
That-
gear.
that set the template for this game going forward. And yeah, I didn't play a lot of it because, like you say, it is basically a shooter, even if it's not always played as a shooter.
Yeah,
But
and,
I liked watching it.
and it did also make good use of the gamepad. With if you were playing it on the gamepad, you'd like use the actual gamepad itself as an aiming device as well. So that was actually pretty good. But I didn't use that much because I just didn't like that.
Another game that came out to very little fanfare was Rocket League. Now I remember it coming out, and I'm a veteran of this because I used to play supersonic acrobatic rocket powered battle cars, which most people actually forgotten ever existed.
I played it.
But that
I
was-
just can't remember the name.
But that was the original Rocket League, and what they've done is obviously they moved it to the next generation of
Consoles.
of hardware, and refined the gameplay a little bit, and it just went massive.
Obviously, this isn't a scrambling game. to sum it up, it's football or soccer, depending on where you are in the world, played in cars.
Yeah, it's like the old Top Gear skit where they went around in hatchbacks. It's kind of that thing. Massive amount of fun. Um,
I've actually played a little bit of it, and I do enjoy it.
just like Supersonic Acrobatic Rocket Power Battle Cars, it's not a one-player game. It's best enjoyed online. Um,
Or couch multiplayer, where you're competitive against each
well,
other.
yeah, there is that.
And obviously you don't even have to play football, you can play basketball on it as well, if I remember correctly.
Can you? I don't
Yes, you can
remember
play
that.
a game mode called Hoops.
Did that
Where
get added later?
I can't remember. I
Think
played it
must.
later.
I don't remember playing that. So yeah, that was a great breakout title from a small company, which it's always good to see a small company challenging the big boys every now and again. And Rocket League definitely done that. Not just in terms of sales, but I think they got some success in esports with it as well.
Yeah, is there still
it
an
was-
esports scene for it though?
I don't know. It was never one of the massive esports games, but
No, but it was still there and
Yeah,
it
it
was
was
still
there.
doing it.
it certainly was.
Now, the next one to think about is the PC exclusive Undertale.
That's not PC exclusive anymore, is it?
No, but when it came out in 2015
Ah,
it
right.
was.
That's all I know about it. That it's called Undertale. You'll have to take this one.
Right, so obviously it's sort of like an RPG, I guess you could say it is. But it's like you're this character who's fallen into like underworld, which is populated by monsters, skeletons, and demonic flowers, I guess. You start off, I believe, meeting a flower called Flowey, who teaches you the basics, but then turns on you, and from there you get like picked up by a goat.
Right. Well, you say it's an RPG. Is there like a cohesive story that?
Yeah, there's a
Because-
story, and there's like I believe there's 3 different ways you can go about the story.
Right.
You can go pacifistic, you can go genocidal, or you can just go neutral.
All right.
Each with their own different twists and the boss battles.
So I'm sure that everyone who's played it knows exactly what you're talking about.
Or if
Everyone
you've
like me
watched
who
it.
hasn't played it is like, I've got no idea what you're talking about.
No, but it's absolutely brilliant. And if I remember correctly, if you have Game Pass for PC, it's on there.
Is that?
Yes.
Another game I think must talk about, the Tomb Raider reboot.
Got a sequel.
Got itself a sequel with Rise of the Tomb Raider. Pretty much the same as the first one.
Continuation of story though.
Yeah, I think for someone like yourself, this is your Tomb Raider.
Yeah,
You
I
absolutely love this.
obviously I put through the original Tomb Raider reboot of 2013 through
Yeah.
straight away because I did enjoy it. 'Cause somehow I didn't play this one.
Did you not?
No, but
See, for me, it was the same gripes as the first game. This wasn't my Tomb Raider because I'm old school. But I know that
I like all the Tomb
people who
Raiders
came to
that I've
this-
played.
I just don't think it should have been a Tomb Raider game. I think if they'd made it a new IP, I'd have loved it. But this is always the problem that you're going to have when you reboot a series. You get some people that absolutely adore it and love what you've done with it. Some people who just want it to be like it always was. And I fall into the latter category.
I believe there'll be some people in the middle though who
No,
like it, but just it's like
well,
it's not
that's
Tomb
what I'm
Raider
saying. It's
for
like,
them.
aye, but it's like if it was a new IP, it would be a different. That's what I'm saying. It'd be a different story.
But I do enjoy the Tomb Raider reboot series, and I believe I would enjoy it if I played it, and I believe I will get around to it.
Well, we'll see. Another game that you did play a lot of was Super Mario Maker. Like I say,
I got this later on.
Nintendo hit it out the park with
Yeah,
first party exclusives on the Wii U.
I did.
Criminally underplayed these titles.
I didn't play this till later on in its life, I guess you could say, but it is really good, and obviously as the title suggests, you do get to create your own Super Mario levels and get to play others, and I believe if you had amiibos, you get the character sprites for them, like you could put in the
I
mystery
think
blocks.
you did get them.
Yeah, but there was the ones where it was like, you could play as Hello Kitty, I believe, in some of it, and it was like, just the amount of detail that some people go into their levels was outstanding, and I believe it's like, obviously with the second it did do quite well, then, and I just believe that would be really good to go back to if you could.
What I liked about Super Mario Maker was that it was it was for the fans. It absolutely was.
It wasn't just a cash grab or
You
anything.
skinned it as original Super Mario's Mario 3. You know, as
Yeah, and you could make it like the newer Marios
you
as
could.
well. So it was
All
like
2D ones.
so it was like a really just brilliant blend of just like the aspect of you can make it, you can then put it out to the public and allow them to play it, or
Yeah.
and vice versa.
Yeah, it was a great game. What else did we get? Microsoft gave us our first next gen Halo with Halo 5.
Yes, they did indeed.
It's a shooter, so my obvious question is, was it any good? Because I didn't play it.
I didn't play that much of it, but I do enjoy the Halo series.
I think Microsoft struggled a little in the early days of
the Xbox One.
of this generation of console because they had such a disastrous launch, and I think that affected the exclusive titles that were coming on. Not with the quality of the titles themselves, but with how they were regarded and how well they're remembered. But I mean, you know what you're getting with Halo, and when you got Halo 5, it looked, I remember, absolutely unbelievable. It was the graphics.
Is a really good game.
The graphics stand up. It could be released today, and the graphics would stand up. It was a brilliant game. I don't know what the gameplay was like because it's a shooter. I don't play it.
Yeah, it's a shooter, obviously, yeah, but the shooter aspect of it is exactly how it's been throughout the Halo series, and it's the continuation of it, really, and I believe that's really what fans are wanting more than just the overall thing, but obviously enjoying the like updated graphics, the gun physics.
Neither
and
of us
everything,
played
but
much of it.
No.
So if you did, you I'm sure remember it quite fondly. You did play this one about Mortal Kombat.
Ooh,
Is it Mortal Kombat X or is it Mortal Kombat 10? I don't know.
you can call it both until it came out as XL because of the DLC, I believe. Now, Mortal Kombat X is the one where Melina dies, I believe, in the story.
I don't think the stories have any relevance to a Mortal Kombat game whatsoever.
Yeah, they are. They continue.
Nobody cares.
No, they've started to continue though, and they've started.
All people care about is can I get a good fight out of this?
And you can indeed.
And I know you can get a good fight out of it because I played it as well.
There's tons of
It
characters.
looked brilliant as well. I
Yeah,
have to say.
it did, and
the character models were the best that we'd ever seen. The movement was fluid. You know, the transitions between animations was flawless. That's what you want for a fighting game.
yeah, it really
It's
is.
quite well balanced as well.
And obviously they did bring in some new characters as well.
But that's what I'm saying. It was quite balanced, so there wasn't an overpowered character in it.
Well, was there? I'm trying to think now. Maybe there was in the DLC. I believe Jason Voorhees was pretty overpowered at
That's
times.
just because Jason's awesome though. So we'll let them get away with that one.
Yeah, but if you do manage to pick one up, I believe on Xbox, if it's the XL, you might be able to get the DLC, which includes Bo Reicher, Tonya, Triborg, Goro, and Jason Leatherface.
Whatever you get. So that was out. That was good. A game that was a real highlight for me was Xenoblade Chronicles X. Going back to the Wii U, loved this machine, and particularly loved this game. Now this isn't a sequel in any way to the original Xenoblade Chronicles. It's completely separate. And this was the first one that they'd done in HD, which is brilliant. I loved the whole premise of being on this big spaceship that was trying to find a new home for humanity, but actually inside the spaceship it was a bit like a world itself, and then you went out into this other world where there's these massive monsters that you better not try and pick a fight with them because they'll just crush you straight away, and just the exploring of that world was brilliant. The one thing that I never really liked that much is having the silent protagonist that doesn't have a name. When I say that, I mean you do name the character yourself, but I prefer for the
Was there not like a default name?
no. So you got
So it wasn't like Shulk in there.
so what it wasn't really a character that had their own identity. I know what they were going for because you can fully customize the character's appearance and name and everything else. But it just means that they can't write a character for them, and I'm never a great fan of that. However, the game itself is just absolutely brilliant. I can't praise it highly enough. I don't believe they've ported this one to the Switch, which is criminal, because I absolutely understand why Nintendo are doing the ports to the Switch to get into a bit bigger audience. This would have been the first game on my list.
Now, was this the one that I played?
I don't know, was it the one
Because
that you
if
played?
it was the one that I played, then yes, they did port it, I believe.
No, they didn't say I played Chronicles 2.
No, but they did port Xenoblade Chronicles, if I remember correctly.
Oh.
I'm not sure because obviously I'm not highly
Anyway.
into Xenoblade Chronicles and that,
But just a wonderful game that, the exploration of this foreign planet was just absolutely great. I just can't, I can't say enough about it. I can't give the story away though, so I can't tell you. So there was that. If you've played it, you know how good the game was.
I'm sure you'd like the second one better because it does have a actual character, doesn't it?
Well, I mean, there's two parts to an RPG. One's,
Character.
the
growth
characters and the
development.
character development, but the other one is the setting, and the setting for this was just absolutely second to none.
Now, next one to think about, and probably the last one out of our list, is one that we've both played, and that is Assassin's Creed Syndicate.
This was the one in Victorian
Yes,
London,
it was
wasn't
indeed.
it? Assassin's Creed kind of lost its way
With
a lot.
Unity and
But,
stuff.
I mean, I quite liked Unity, but
It wasn't massively received well.
no, it wasn't. I think at release it was a buggy mess. That's the big problem.
But this one came
But
in and it was...
Yeah, this one hit the ground running.
Yeah.
For the first time, you had dual protagonists, and is this the first time we got first time in a mainline game? I think we got a female protagonist as well.
I believe so, yeah, because
I
got
think
one
in spin-offs we got
Chronicles.
China. The Chinese one was definitely
Yeah.
one, but that was not a mainline game. So you've got that. The other thing is the setting was different. I don't think we'd
Seeing Assassin's Creed and...
well, we hadn't seen an Assassin's Creed, but we hadn't seen much in the way of games from Victorian London, although there is obviously the Sherlock Holmes games, which what's set there, but that's not really free roam.
No, this was like one where you could explore to your heart's content.
It was, and and again, it's like a personal thing that it's like you get to see things that you recognise that you've been to.
And
We've been. This is probably why I remember Unity quite fondly because I loved visiting Paris, and it was great going to see the Notre Dame Cathedral and that sort of thing. And you get the same thing in Syndicate. If you've been to London, it's like,
Yeah,
oh yeah,
like-
I've been there.
I wouldn't be like that with Unity, but I'd be like that with Syndicate.
Yeah. So
And even the DLC followed the time era as well. Because it had the Jack the Ripper
had the
DLC,
Jack the
didn't
Ripper
it?
thing.
But
Surprisingly, Jack the Ripper hasn't been in that many video games. Strange one that, but he was certainly in this one.
and you did even get a play zone in part of it.
But yeah, I mean, it was definitely a return to form for Assassin's Creed.
as a series.
I don't remember a game in the Assassin's Creed series that was as well received on release as this one since the very first one. That's how highly I think it was regarded at the time, and for that, I think it has to
At least be a thought of.
it has to be talked about.
Now we're
So
at the point where
that's
we're
it. So what we're going to do now is we're going to pick 4 that we're going to let you vote on.
to that we choose personally that we can't dispute.
We'll pick one each that goes in no matter what, and then we've got to
agree on two.
on 2 to make up the 4. So once we've done that, please do vote, as I said, on the end card at the end of the video. Do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
I'll allow you to go first.
Xenoblade Chronicles X. absolutely
I knew that was
no
coming.
doubt whatsoever. Brilliant game, wonderful game. Um, it needed a bigger audience. The Wii U was not the console for it. They need to re-release it on the Switch. Nintendo, everyone's wallet's open. Just take the money out. Give us this game on the Switch.
Now, I want to put in Mortal Kombat X, but I believe I've just got to put Undertale through.
Undertale.
Yes,
That's fair
it's
enough.
just
I
a
couldn't
really
have put it
good
through
game.
because I know nothing about it. So that leaves us with 2 spots to fill out.
If there was two that I would go for, I would go for Assassin's Creed Syndicate and either Mortal Kombat X or Witcher 3. They would be the two that I'd say.
See,
Potentially
I
Bloodborne.
think Bloodborne, Fallout 4. I think I'll give you Witcher 3. So we'll put Witcher 3 through.
Ones that I'd be happy to see through would be obviously the one that I wanted to put through Mortal Kombat X, Assassin's Creed Syndicate, Bloodborne. They would be the three that I'd want to see put through.
I'm going to say Bloodborne.
We'll
agree with that. So there you go. The 4 choices are Xenoblade Chronicles X,
Undertale,
Bloodborne.
and Witcher 3.
So please do vote on the end card.
Share this video around so we can have a bigger
Yeah, we want as many
cast.
people voting on this, so please share this video far and wide if you can. If you haven't already, if this is your first time watching one of our videos, please subscribe to the channel. Please go back to our previous videos in this series and vote on those as well. We'd appreciate that massively.
Also turn on the notifications so you do get notified when we do the 2016 video. And like this video if you have enjoyed us talking about the games, and if we have talked about your favourite game as well. But
That is it.
that's
for
all
this
we
thing.
can say about it, and I believe that's it until the 2016 video.
So hopefully we'll see you then. But that's it for now. Please
Yes.
vote.